What's going on, y'all? It's your man Stephen Bardo coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Want to come on quickly. I am in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Kevin Kugler and I will be on the ones and twos. We have Penn State at Michigan, which ought to be a fantastic ball game. Penn State playing very well. I believe they've won 5 in a row. Michigan feeling very good about themselves after throttling the Maryland Terrapins in their last home game. Let me know that you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying something different because I'm on my phone and I've got these earbuds in because I wanted to make sure that the sound comes through clearly, because I haven't used StreamYard on my cell phone before. But you get a chance, if one of you could just say, the sound is okay, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. So I wanted to come on tonight and do a really quick scouting report with Illinois at Northwestern. This is an important game in the Big Ten. It's really important for the Illini because you don't want to be in the cellar at 0-3 to start the Big Ten race. This race, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, we've been saying it for years, but this year, even Minnesota pushed Wisconsin at the Kohl Center last night. So every single game is a grind. And if you start 0-3 in this conference, it's going to be tough to work your way back up to the upper echelon. So this is a critical game for both teams, really, but really for the Illini because they're thought of as a team that is upper echelon in the Big Ten Conference. They've got 2 of the best wins in the country already against Texas and UCLA, and yet they find themselves 0-2 in the Big Ten Conference with losses at Maryland and a home loss to a very good Penn State ball club. So I want to give you guys some things to look at. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. Jeffrey Leah says, sounds great. Thank you. Jonathan Benson, thank you. Larry Smith, thank you. Tommy Elam, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for that heads up. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's get into it. Bear with me here. I'm trying to learn how to do this on my phone. So we got Illinois at Northwestern tonight. Larry Smith understands this, and former Illini players understand this. I don't give a what the records are. It is always hard to play in Welsh Ryan Arena against the Wildcats. Every year that game, Illinois versus Northwestern. Now, sometimes the game gets away from Northwestern in Champaign, but at Northwestern, it is always a competitive, close game. So here's some keys for the Illini. They have to push the tempo. Northwestern, in spite of their last home loss against Ohio State, is an elite defensive team. These guys can really defend and lock down. So the Illini want to get the game into the 70s. If it's in the 50s and 60s, it really favors Northwestern. So the Illini need to push tempo. Point 2, Dane Danger's got to get active and involved early. His teammates need to look for him. I know Terrence Shannon wants to get his off. I know Matthew Meyer is playing some of the best basketball of his career. But Dane Danger, he can put a lot of pressure on the front line of Northwestern. Now consider this. What is the big? There's a freshman. Luke Hunger for Northwestern is out. Okay, he was a backup to Matthew Nicholson. So the Northwestern is really thin up front. If Dane Danger can establish himself early and the Illini can work the offense from inside out instead of looking for the threes early, I think that really benefits them. And then 3, the law firm of Shannon and Meyer have to show up. If the Illini are going to work their way back into the upper echelon of the Big Ten Conference race, then Terrence Shannon and Matthew Meyer are going to have to really, really step up and be very consistent from here on out. Because if they're not, the Illini will not have consistency. They will not be able to win night in and night out in this gauntlet of the Big Ten Conference race. All right? Keys for Northwestern. They got to shoot the ball better. They really struggle shooting the three-point shot and just shooting in general against Ohio State. Now, the Buckeyes, according to their head coach, Chris Holtman, played their best defense in years in that win. Ohio State was sizzling on offense. They're the 3rd best team offensively in the country, according to Ken Palm, offensive efficiency, but their defense matched their offense against Northwestern, one of their most complete games. So Northwestern ran into a buzzsaw. Now, the Illini have great length and they've got great depth, and they can close out and defend the three. They didn't against Missouri. They didn't against Penn State, but I've seen them have the Illini have the ability to defend the three. Now, Northwestern, if their shots start falling, they're very difficult to contain because Boo Buie can go get his shot. Chase Aldees can go get his shot. Ty Berry can stretch the floor. I like Julian Roper. I really like Roper. I think he's a guy that really factors into the success overall for the Northwestern, but in particular tonight, because the length on the wings for the Illini give them an advantage in that area. And I think Roper, if he can step up and really be big, he and Ty Berry, they really need big games tonight, okay? They got to shoot better. Robbie Barron needs to be aggressive. I've been waiting for Robbie for years, and he shows glimpses of it. But tonight is a night where that young man needs to step up and be big. Robbie Barron matches up very well with Matthew Meyer at 6'9". But it's a confidence thing, in my opinion. And so can Robbie Barron be confident tonight and come in and be aggressive? And then the aforementioned Ty Berry and Julian Roper, they've got to have big games because you can't rely just on Chase Aldees and Boo Buie. They tried that against Ohio State. It did not work. They need more depth on the scoring side, and they need to be aggressive. All right. The key matchup tonight, in my opinion, is Matthew Meyer versus Robbie Barron. Matthew Meyer is really playing well. He's starting to make shots. He's got some unorthodox ways of knocking down shots, knocking down buckets. And Robbie Barron can go inside. He can go outside. He can hit the three. He can get into the paint. This, I think, is the key matchup tonight in this particular game. Let me see if you guys have any comments. Let me go up here. Okay. It's personal. Jarris Howard, former Illini basketball player, college basketball coach. Jarris knows, Snacks knows what's up. It's personal. It's the battle for Illinois. No shade to Loyola, no shade to UIC or DePaul, but it's Illinois versus Northwestern. So it's bragging rights and it's personal. Jarris said it best. Squares, circle, squares. The team needs Bardo. Hey, squares, circle, squares. If the Illini need me, they're in trouble. Because I don't hoop anymore. I'm in good shape. I'm in my playing weight because I work out every day, but I don't, I'm not popping my Achilles or tearing my ACL to go out there and relive my glory days. I'm good. So I hope that's not the case. But thank you, Squared, Circle, Square. Thomas Dagley, what's up, Thomas? Good to see you, man. If it only gets tougher from here on out. Dane and Sincere need to start again. Thomas, this is a common thought among Illini fans and people who are watching the team because this Illini team is extremely talented, but sometimes they have slow starts. And Sincere Harris brings that energy. Dane Danger's been playing well. He brings that energy and that swag. They need some swag. They need to come out and talk a little trash, talk some stuff. Be confident who you are. Act like you back at the crib or something, right? And so I think that's what Thomas is talking about. Just come out like you understand that, dude, you get a chance to put on the Illinois jersey. Act like it. I feel you, Thomas. Thank you, man, for always supporting. I really appreciate it. Which current Illini players remind you most of yourself? None of them. Because I'm 6'6". I was a point guard. They don't have a 6'6" point guard. And they don't have guys that can defend like I can or I could. None of these guys can defend. None of these guys on this Illini team could sit down and defend like I could personally or my team. And square, circle, squares, you got to understand, we had the best team in Illini history. Now, the 2005 team went further. They got to the national championship game. But we are the best team in Illinois history. So it's kind of tough to compare these teams to us because we weren't cut from the same. We're cut from a different cloth. So none of these Illini players reminds me of myself. Carol Poe Paquette, tribe member. You see the scroll on the bottom, 312-847-2739. I appreciate some Illini fans getting up on this. We've had a number of people join the text group, and I hope you're enjoying it. So if you want to be a part of the inside group of Bardo's Breakdown, text me to 312-847-2739. Carol Poe Paquette has been supporting Bardo's Breakdown from day one. We love you, Carol. Thank you very much. Are you doing the color tonight? Sorry, I forgot. No, Carol, I am on Penn State at Michigan. We got a dandy tonight. These two teams are playing very well. Penn State is a surprise team in the Big Ten right now, and they are very good. And Michigan is coming off a huge victory against Maryland. We've got a great matchup tonight. Big Ten Network, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Big Ten Network. Me and Kevin Kugler on the ones and twos, y'all. Check us out. Check us out. Penn State versus Michigan right before Illinois and Northwestern. Hoop Scoop, what's up, Hoop Scoop? Good to see you again. Wait a minute. There it is. I'm working my fingers on the phone, y'all. So please be patient. Bardo's tonight's game will show me if Illini is for real. A tough road game. I want to see the mindset of the players tonight. Hoop Scoop, spot on, partner. I think a lot of people want to see the mindset of the Illini moving forward. Now, they had a good outing against Bethune-Cookman, but obviously Bethune-Cookman isn't on the level of is not on the level of Northwestern for sure, but not on the level of any Big Ten program. So it's going to be interesting as Illinois comes back into Big Ten play, what that mentality is going to look like, or that mindset. Thank you, Hoop Scoop. Good to see you. You always play the game the right way. Great hustle and heart. Thank you, Squared Circles, Circles, Squares. Here's the thing. It's different, ladies and gentlemen, today. If you didn't play hard and you didn't play the right way, you didn't play. There wasn't any NIL or transfer portal. There weren't any promises to any players back then. If you didn't play the right way, you just couldn't play. I was sitting with Tom Izzo yesterday. Oh, I do. I love that guy. I absolutely love Tom Izzo. And I keep stomping for him to be the college basketball commissioner. When he's done at Michigan State, we want him around as long as possible. But when he feels like he has done all that he can do at Michigan State, I would love him to slide over and to run college basketball outside the NCAA, in my opinion. Because Tom, here's something that Tom Izzo does that most people don't really know he does. Max Carney, the sports information director for Michigan State, he goes and prints out box scores from all over the country, gives them to Tom Izzo in the morning. Coach Izzo goes through these scouting report or these box scores, looks at the results of games, and he'll call coaches that are struggling. He'll just call them and encourage them, ask them what's going on, how can he help? And he's not like some people say, well, how can I help? And they don't really mean it. Tom Izzo means it. And he calls coaches all over the country who are struggling. And so he's got a pulse on the fabric of college basketball. He's got a pulse on these coaches and these teams. And so Tom Izzo said, he said, today's players they'll sit out, NBA guys too, they'll sit out with a hangnail. He said, Bardo, you would play dead. And he's right. I mean, I've played with a broken nose. You see my fingers? This one happened in Illinois. You see how crooked that is? I've had that for 30-something years. And we played because we love to play. We're not sitting out. There was no load management. And so we did squared, circle, squares. You're exactly right. And Tom Izzo confirmed that. He's like, Bardo, if you got off your deathbed, you would try to play. He's right. Jonathan Hood, Jay Hood, what's up? There's levels to this in the Big Ten. Which level is Illinois and Northwestern? Can't wait to find out, Steve. Jay Hood, voice of the UIC Flames. Wow, there's levels to this. Which level is Illinois and Northwestern? Right now, Illinois is on the bottom, and Northwestern is in the middle, based on the conference records. Now, potentially, Illinois could be in the top echelon, and I think Northwestern could be right in the middle, potentially. So we'll find out tonight. It's going to be fascinating, but that's a great question, Jay Hood. Again, yeah, I was going to say what I think, what I anticipate, but we don't know because the Illini have been so inconsistent this year. You just don't know what team you're going to get. And Northwestern got blitzed last game, so they're going to be ready to play. They will have a much improved effort tonight versus Illinois than they had at home against Ohio State. And here's the thing. Northwestern's they've got to hold serve at home if they want to get to the NCAA tournament. I still think this is a tournament team. Some may disagree with me, but I think Northwestern is an NCAA tournament team. But you've got to hold serve at home. That's why this game is critical. That's why this is one of the reasons why I wanted to go live before I got to run over to Chrysler Arena and go check out Michigan and shoot around. But great question, Jay Hood, and thank you so much for the support, man. I always appreciate you. Kevin Lucas, what do you think is the biggest disconnect between the Illini right now? Kevin, great question. And I'm going to put this out there. I don't know if I've said this. Illini got too much talent. They got more talent than anybody in the league. It's hard to keep talented players happy. We've been hearing rumors that Sky Clark may transfer. Jaden Epps isn't happy. Well, hell, I get it. I get it. They got too much talent. And so I'm fascinated that Underwood has kept it together this long because they got a ton of guys. And it's hard keeping guys that think they are good enough to play. It's hard keeping them from the minutes that they want to get. But obviously everybody can't play 30 minutes when you're going 9, 10 deep. Luke Goody's coming back, y'all. Zachary Perrin just got there. Zachary Perrin's going to play. That's like 11, 12 guys that you can throw out on the floor that are upper echelon players. None of these guys are. I mean, I can go through Illinois' lineup. All of these guys can play 30 minutes, but it's not possible. So, Kevin, I just think it's a situation where Brad is trying to get these guys to understand it's like, yo, tonight might be your night based on the matchup, but based on this matchup tonight, you may not play much. That's hard for college players that think they should be playing, that college players that have 30 people in their ear that don't know shit. Oh, excuse me. That don't know nothing about the game, that are telling them something different than what their coach is telling them. That's hard to overcome. And this period that we just got out of, well, we're kind of still in it, where the students aren't in school and the players aren't going to class. They're out of their routine and they've got a lot of downtime. And they have a lot of downtime to get on social media and see what people are thinking and saying. And also they get a lot of feedback that's not necessarily correct. And it may be going against what their coaches want, right? The coaches know best for the most part. 99% of the time, these coaches know best how to utilize these players or if these players are ready for increased minutes. They know best, right? And a lot of these players and their families, they're not patient. And so Sky Clark, I get it. He's frustrated a little bit or whatever, but Sky Clark wasn't a one-and-done guy anyway. And we have to remember, he missed his senior year in high school. He's still knocking off rust. So he thinks he's just going to come in and the highest level of college basketball and just get 30, 35 minutes and not compete against Jaden Epps, who wants the same amount of time, and not compete against Sincere Harris, who plays defense like his hair is on fire every time. It's tough. And so I think that I don't know that there's necessarily a disconnect. I just think there's a ton of talent on this team that it's hard to keep guys happy. And I don't think Brad Underwood's doing anything wrong. I don't think the coaching staff's doing anything wrong. It's just they got a bunch of dudes. They got more talent than anybody in the conference, in my opinion. Kenny Williams, what's good, Kenny? Good to see you, bro. Abandon the switching strategy that they've been struggling with. Jeffrey, will they abandon the switching strategy they've been struggling with? I don't think they've been struggling, Jeffrey. I think they've had a game or two where they didn't look good, but I don't think you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's what they built this system on. That's what they entered the season on, is switching defenses, because they're big, they're long, and they can do a lot of different things defensively. It's it's almost impossible to change your defensive philosophy mid-season. It generally doesn't happen. And you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a ranked team. Well, they're not ranked right now, but they were a ranked team. They've beaten 2 top 10 teams. So because they've struggled, you can't just go away from what you've built your program on, what you built, the way your team is supposed to play. You can't abandon it just because you struggle. It was going to be struggles anyway, because what happens is you've got 10 new players. You don't have any offensive production from last year coming back. All these guys are in new roles. So just because they're struggling, that was going to happen. And if you look, I talked to Brad Underwood and Shoot Around. He said, if you would have told me we would be at this position right now, he said, I'd take it 10 times out of 10 and twice on Sunday. So have patience, relax. Let's see if the Illini do tonight. And you know what? We'll see. But they're not going to abandon what they do. Aaron Champion, what's up, Aaron? Every time you say Illinois teams, SIUC is always left out. Hoping someday they can get back up there. Okay, Aaron, that's fair. That's fair. The Salukis are playing Drake tonight. They got a really good game tonight. I believe the Salukis have won 5 in a row. So we'll see. And at one point, Aaron, they were there. You're right. This is like a game 7 in the NBA Finals tonight, says Tanya. Tanya, no. It will be an important game. It will be a highly contested game, but it's nowhere near game 7 in the finals, because there's still 9 weeks left in the Big Ten gauntlet. And even if the Illini lose tonight, they'll be 0-3, right? They still have 17 games. And I think with the way that Rutgers beat Purdue the other night at Purdue, and Purdue was winning close games. They won an overtime game in Nebraska, being the number 1 team in the country. So this year's Big Ten champion, don't be surprised if they have 5 losses, maybe 6. I think 5 losses would probably win the Big Ten this season. So even if the Illini lose tonight, the sky's not going to fall. Trust me, they got 17 more opportunities now. They'll be desperate, and they should come in desperate tonight. But it's not like the NBA Game 7 tonight. But thank you, Tanya. That put a smile on my face. That's pretty good. Joe Stovall, Tribe member, freshman guards on the road in the Big Ten. Wasn't a good look in Maryland. Need to go at Northwestern with full court pressure and not let their foot off the gas. Okay, Joe, I like that. The Illini have been successful in at times utilizing the full court pressure, but in Big Ten play, these teams are too good. I don't think that you can full court press any of these teams long period of time, because, pardon me, they're so talented and they're so well coached. They'll be prepared for Illinois' pressure. And once a team presses you 4 or 5 times in a row, unless you're trying to come back from a big deficit, which we've seen the Illini do against Virginia early in the season, unless you're like really trying to come uphill from a bad deficit, pressing 4, 5, 6 times in a row, other teams they'll eat you up. They'll just eat you up. It's not an effective strategy for an extended period of time. You could do it in spurts and try to throw the team off, give them a different look, maybe come up with a turnover or 2, but you're trying to pressure senior guards and Boo Buie and Chase Aldiz. That's not long extended minutes for that. That's not a good strategy, in my opinion. Now, they do, if the Illini get up, they can't relax on this team, because even when Northwestern was getting blasted by Ohio State, they made the game interesting because they can get hot from the 3. So they do need to really put their foot down. Kenny Williams, Northwestern is a top defensive team. Yes, they are. Illinois needs to be aggressive but disciplined. Must score in transition. I agree. That was one of the keys I had that the Illini need to get in the 70s. If this game is in the 50s and 60s, it definitely benefits Northwestern. Thank you, Kenny. And I always appreciate your support, partner. Ooh, I skipped. Man, my fingers are too big for this for this phone. Here we go. Carol Pope Paquette. Now, this is funny. She's talking about Kenny Battle's 360 dunk at Northwestern. Ironically, Kenny Battle just sent out a text to Lowell Hamilton, well, to all the guys on the Flying Illini, but it was that picture of us in the blue practice jerseys holding a basketball. Lowell Hamilton, Kenny Battle, Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill, and myself. And Kenny Battle said, "We were some bad mothers. Shut your mouth." And I said, "Yes, we were, KB. Yes, we were." And I'm fortunate that I get to go in these Big Ten arenas. And every one of these arenas, people stop me and talk about that team, how special that team was. So, Carol and Kenny Battle, it was a close game, what Carol is talking about. Kenny got a steal, went down and did a 360, and he like he pumped it down 360 like this. It was a nasty in-game dunk. We were up maybe 3 or 4 points. Lou Henson lost his mind. Hey, Kenny, we can't do that right now. Oh, we were going crazy. And so was Lou, but he was going crazy because he was mad Kenny tried that dunk. So great memory, Carol. Thank you for sharing that. That's funny. What's up, Kevin McDuffie? What's going on, my man? Good to see you. How you doing? Appreciate you joining. I'm jealous you got to witness the Tyson Walker show in person last night. Kevin, Tyson Walker, listen, I am so blessed to do this job that I get a chance to talk to the coaches. I get a chance to talk to the players. So I go up to Tyson Walker before the game, and I saw him in shoot around. He's working his wrist, and he tapes his wrist, and he's trying to work it out because he heard it early in the season against Alabama. It's been bothering ever since. And entering last night's game against Nebraska, he had been struggling a little bit. He was really good early, and then he was struggling a little bit, and I think his wrist was bothering more than he was letting on. And so last night he taped it up, and he got that first one to go, and boy, he was smooth. And his teammates were finding him in his spots. Michigan State is an elite passing team. They had 22 assists on 29 made field goals, something really, really great. But the way they were popping the ball around and finding Tyson was a thing of beauty. And the fact that he's playing well, that Malik Hall is back, Michigan State is right up there among the elite in the Big Ten. What's up, Rick Moss? Good to see you. Illini does not have a Kendall Gill neither. You guys are too damn good. Rick, we were the best backcourt in the country. Kendall Gill's a 15-year NBA vet. Nick Anderson's a 14-year NBA vet. Kenny Battle played with the Phoenix Suns and Detroit Pistons. Marcus Liberty played with the Denver Nuggets and the Detroit Pistons. Yours truly had some coffee breaks with the Mavericks and the Pistons and the Spurs. So, yeah, we were a tough team. And where do you see a backcourt where the point guard is 6'6" and the two guard is 6'5"? You just don't see it. Thank you, Rick. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for joining as always. Ron Charles. Bardo last night. Nebraska missed so many free throws last night. They should be in practice shooting nothing but free throws. That was bad. Ron, you're correct. Nebraska is last in the Big Ten in free throw shooting percentage. They're just not a good shooting team. They're a fun team because they like each other, they're high character, and they defend. But what happens is when you miss free throws, it demoralizes you. You practice so hard you play so hard on the defensive end, and you don't get the reward on the offensive end. And so it really takes a lot of steam out of you, a lot of wind out of your sails when you don't convert those free throws. So you're exactly right. But trust me, Fred Hoiberg will work with his guys, and they'll improve. Larry Blackwood, danger needs more minutes. I think in Big Ten play, I think you're going to see Brad shrink the lineup a little bit because, again, You want to get guys comfortable. You want to get them some rhythm. I think you'll see Dane play more minutes, and I don't know if we'll see the roster go as deep as it has. I may be wrong, but it's very rare that you'll see a team in conference play go 10, 11 deep. Now, the Illini have the ability to do so, but it's rare. It's not common, but we'll see. We'll have to see tonight. But Dane, I think we'll get more minutes, Larry, because he's been playing extremely well. Facebook user says Illinois should secure this win. Should? Well, should implies judgment. That's so when you use should, you're making a judgment call, okay? And that's fine. But this is the Big Ten this year. I don't go into any game saying, okay, Michigan should beat Penn State tonight because Michigan's playing at home. Don't work like that this year. Who was at Michigan State when you played? Was that the Sean Respert era? No, I was ahead of Sean Respert. So Daryl Johnson, who I saw last night, DJ, it warmed my heart, gave him a big hug. Daryl Johnson, Carlton Valentine, Steve Smith was a freshman. Kenny Redfield and I are the same age. Matt Staninga, Peplowski, Mark Montgomery, who's an assistant with Michigan State right now. I'm missing the forward. I'm missing a couple guys. So I was before the Respert era. But yeah, they shoot. Did Michigan State win the Big Ten my senior year? They may have won the Big Ten when Steve Smith was a freshman. Antonio. What's Antonio's last name? Because his brother's the head coach at Western Michigan, I believe. Stevens. Antonio Stevens. Stevens was there. So those are the guys that were there in my era. Good teams, too. Any inside scoop on Perrin? Looks very skilled in overseas film. I know he hasn't had much time to get with the team yet, but do you expect him to be a contributor? Yes. Brad Underwood was really high on him at the beginning of the season. They were not pleased that they could not get him into school in the fall semester. They got him here now, but 6'10", very, very skilled. And Michael Payne, who's a family friend of mine who played overseas and he keeps tabs overseas. He told me, he was the first person to tell me that Perrin is very good, that Illinois got a sleeper. So this kid can play. And I don't know how effective he'll be coming in because he's late and he's got a lot of catching up to do, but he's going to be a player for the Illini if he can be patient. Kevin McDuffie is really good at prognostication. Kevin McDuffie was singing Penn State's praises before anybody was. He was very adamant about the Nittany Lions being very good this year. So Kevin McDuffie says Illinois wins 75-64. I'm going to pin this comment, Kevin. I think I can do that on the phone. Let's see. I'm going to try to pin this comment. And you guys remember this, that Kevin predicted the Illini 75-64 tonight. And we'll come back on Monday and see if you're right. Man says Michigan versus Michigan State this weekend. Is it a chance Michigan can pull it off? Michigan better pull this off tonight. I hope they're not looking ahead to Michigan State. Because if Michigan looks ahead to Michigan State this weekend and they don't take Penn State seriously, they could get run up out of the gym. Ask the Illini about that. Illini coming off a huge victory against Texas. They were not ready to play against Penn State, and Penn State put it on them in the House of Pain. They put the pain on the Illini in the House of Pain. So anything's possible this year, man, but Michigan better be paying attention to Penn State. Don't overlook the Nittany Lions because you'll get embarrassed. Trust me. Is a Northwestern student section? Hello? What are you saying? No, I'm good, man. Um, is the Northwestern student section as brutal as when you played? I remember the flying line I talking about how they would talk about your mom and other family members. They were tough. They were tough. They had a chant where they said, "That's all right. That's okay. You'll be working for us someday." And Kenny Battle did a 360 dunk and was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, fool." No, I don't think they're as bad as they used to be, but they're not the. I think the students are still out. I think Northwestern's on a quarters situation. I don't know. We'll see. Um, and too much ego. What are you talking about, Gregory Hilton? Let me tell me what you referring to there. And thanks for joining in. Um, this team kind of reminds me of past Kentucky teams. A lot of talent and not enough minutes. Yeah, there's a lot of talent, Greg. There's a lot of talent on this Illini team, and I'm just hoping that they can be patient and tell the family members and the friends that are in their ears. Tell them, well, go tell Brad Underwood what you think. Let me just be a college student. Let me be a college basketball player. Let me absorb this experience and let the people that think they know what they're talking about or think they have your best interests at heart. If they have your best interests at heart, then support this player. If they're not getting enough minutes, let them talk it out. Let them talk about how they're feeling and support them. Right? Marsman, what's up, Marsman? Teams were really getting away with a two-man game when Sky would have switched off on a big. Okay. All right, Marsman. I like that. That's a really detailed inside look at some of the strategy in the game. And so we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that Sky's shoulder is better. His left shoulder was in a sling last time I saw him against Bethune-Cookman. Watching college basketball, I have no clue who's going to win it all. It's no team to me that is head and shoulders above. Mike, Hoops Page, you and Tom Izzo are on the same page. Izzo spoke yesterday in shoot around about that there doesn't seem to be a clear-cut favorite. Purdue is definitely in the conversation. UConn, UCLA. I like Alabama and Arizona. I really like Arizona. If I had to pick one team right now that I would think might have an edge, it would be the Arizona Wildcats because they have everything and they have depth and they're huge. They're the biggest team in college basketball. TM, what do you think about Illini losing out on James Brown? Do you think the internal conflict on team has something to do with it? I have no idea what you're talking about because I don't go that deep on the recruiting side. I probably need to get better at that, TM, but I don't know who James Brown is, so I apologize for that. Brown eliminated the Illini. That happens all the time. So yes, he chose North Carolina. I mean, it's not like he went to Indiana or Ohio State or a Big Ten opponent. He went to North Carolina. That's a pretty good choice. So no shame in that. So you get some, you lose some. Joe Stovall, Andre Curbelo would have been the perfect conductor for this team. I totally disagree. His ability to facilitate and create off the dribble would have been the RX for this what the team needed. Experienced guard play is so underrated in the Big Ten. Joe, I disagree because the Illini went like this to Curbelo. See you, and we want to be you. And you know what happened to Curbelo yesterday for St. John's? He didn't play because of conduct detrimental to the team. Andre Curbelo, if you're going out to play, to go hoop and to go play pickup basketball, oh, he's your guy. But if you're in a system and you're in a program, no, Curbelo is one of those lip lickers. You go like this when you see him play, but he's not going to win you games. He's going to beat you. He's going to do more to hurt you than win games. That's why the Illini and Coach Underwood's staff are like, good luck, young man. We wish you the best, but deuces. No, Curbelo he's got a lot of he's got a lot of growing up to do, in my opinion. But thank you, Joe, because Joe comes with strong opinions all the time, and I love it. He really brings a ton to this conversation every single time that we're on here. So thank you, Joe, always for your support. You are greatly appreciated. Illinois needs to get back to forcing turnovers, says Kevin McDuffie. Okay. Hard to do against these Big Ten teams, Kevin, because Penn State is the best team in the country at taking care of the basketball. I think there are 4 teams in the Big Ten that are in the top 20 of ball possession and taking care of the basketball, and Penn State's number 1. So forcing turnovers can be good in spurts, but I don't know that you can consistently do that in Big Ten play, because the way that these teams play, it's hard to force turnovers because ball possession is so critical in this conference. Okay, Greg. Kenny Battle looked like in the old days after every. Okay, I didn't quite understand that. Mike Hoops page, is Jet Howard a one and done? I think he needs one more year, but with his shooting, he may leave. Your thoughts? Jet Howard has everything you're looking for in an NBA player. He's smart. He's got great size at the wing position. He can shoot the leather off the ball. And the most underrated part of Jet Howard's game, in my opinion, he is a hell of a passer. I don't hear anybody talking about his passing ability. Jet Howard can get downhill going full speed and make a bullet pass to the shooting pocket. It's one thing to make a pass on the move and hit a teammate, but if you catch it over here, if you catch it here, you catch it too low, you got to get it in the shooting pocket. Jet can go full speed with either hand and hit a dude, cross court in the right where he can catch and shoot. He's special. So can he be a one and done? Yes. I hope not, because I'm selfish. I want Sensenbaugh. I want Jet Howard. I want all these guys that have the ability to go to the next level. I want to see them stay. But does he have the ability to be a one and done? Certainly. Jet Howard is a special talent. Oh, Billy McKinney, the greatest player in Northwestern basketball history, the mayor of Zion, Illinois. And it's funny, I was working with Matt Schumacher, very good play-by-play guy that does some Big Ten and at Fox Sports. He does Big Ten Network and Fox Sports games. And I introduced Billy to Matt. And I said, yeah, Matt, Billy is the mayor of Zion, Illinois. And so I think Matt thought, oh, he's a popular guy. No, Billy McKinney's the actual mayor of Zion, Illinois. He's put that good Northwestern education to use, and he's one of the best human beings on the planet. Always positive, always upbeat, has got a world of experience in the NBA. I think he's in the NBA for over 30 years, and he looks like he just left Northwestern. I'm upset, Billy. Whatever the fountain of youth you got to share it with a brother, because you're looking good, my man. Great to see you, and thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Gregory Hilton, thank you for the reminder, partner. Please hit the like button, share, and comment with people who you think would enjoy this conversation, because it's my name is on it. I set it up, but it's you who makes this platform great. We've had like 40-something, 50-something people live on here today. The platform is growing because of you guys. I think you enjoy the conversation. I'm going to start to get people like Billy McKinney, beat writers that cover these teams. I'm going to get them on the show, because I think that would add even more and allow you all to ask those questions of them as well, so that we get a more rounded platform, so that everybody can benefit from this. So thank you, Gregory, for that reminder. So please like, share, and comment on this video. It really helps the growth of this channel. And I just want to provide this for you all, because the people that have been rocking with me since day one, 5 years ago, when I started Bardo's Breakdown, I owe it to them to give them whatever I have, because they've been great to me and supporting this platform. Illinois needs to keep the turnovers to a minimum, no doubt, Thomas. Because in this league, if you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. It's just it's the players are too good. The coaches are way too good. Wait till you if you guys have not seen Penn State play, tune in tonight. You're going to get two great games. Don't look at the records. Don't look at Michigan's record. Don't look at the records. Don't look at the last games. Tune in to both games. Penn State, Michigan, 6 o'clock. Illinois, Northwestern at 8 o'clock. Trust me, if I'm wrong, send me a message and say, Bardo, you're full of crap. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. You're going to see some high-level basketball in both of these games. So Illinois, Thomas Dagley is spot on. They need to take care of the basketball. Eric Boo Man Johnson, what's up, Boo Man? I love that. Boo Man, that's we call Larry Smith Boo. That's Larry Smith's nickname, but Boo Man, I like that. A few lives ago, you mentioned training with Michael Jordan when he was working on a comeback. Did you see him play pickup ball, and was he still solid at the time? He was a little heavy, Boo Man. He was trying to get some of that weight down. But it's like riding a bike, man. He wasn't as athletic because he was a little heavy, and he wasn't trying to hurt himself trying to get back overnight. So he was picking and choosing his spots, but he's MJ. He's MJ. And it's kind of hard to play pickup ball with MJ because I'm watching. I'm waiting. He gets the ball. I'm like, all right, what's this dude about to do next? Right? It's different when you play with an icon like that. Okay. Let's see. What's up, Chad? How you doing? Who is the starting five? Chad, are you talking about for Illinois? Can you hit me back and let me know if you're thinking about the starting five for Illinois? In last game, it was Sincere Harris started at the 1. Terrence Shannon was at the 2. No. Wait a minute. Coleman Hawkins, Dane Danger, Sincere Harris, Terrence Shannon, and Matthew Meyer were the starting five against Bethune-Cookman. Do you think Missouri is a team of cowards and their house of cards will crumble very soon? Square, circle, squares. If you think Kentucky's a house of cards and cowards, because they beat Kentucky. So I'm going to keep an eye on Missouri. And I love Dennis Gates. I love what he's doing. He was a top coach to begin with at Cleveland State. So no, I think Missouri's a legitimate team. Bardo, I always felt Kendall Gill, this is me almost seemed like he copied Michael Jordan's walk moves and the way he dunked. Or maybe that was me. Did he love MJ? He did everything MJ did. To the wristbands, to the shorts, to the left lean in dunk. He walked like MJ. He wanted to eat the same way MJ ate. MJ came to Champaign. The Bulls had a preseason scrimmage or something. And Kendall did everything he could to get next to Jordan. So you're very observant in that hype baller. Can you explain what RJ Melendez's role is? He just sits, no movement in the corners, waiting to take a three. Chad, they're still trying to figure it out. When you have this much talent, it takes time to figure roles out. RJ is a baller. He's a shooter. He's a slasher. He's a really good defender. I don't think he gets enough credit for his defensive prowess. So, man, we're almost 50 minutes into this. You guys see me keep looking at my watch because I got to get out of here in a second. Got to go to the shoot around. Let me see. I'm going to go. Let me see. DBL Mays, can you assess the Michigan State squad as it stands now? Big Ten contender. When Michigan State is healthy, they'll be right there with Purdue, Ohio State, and Wisconsin, challenging for a Big Ten title. That's how good they are. That's how I think of them. Let me get through. Northwestern is on the quarter system, and students will be back in the arena tonight. Great point. Thank you for that, Billy McKinney. See, I wasn't aware of that. That makes a difference. That makes a big difference. So thank you, Billy McKinney, for that insight. That's excellent. Oh, what's up, Darnell Bullock? Good to see you, brother. Northwestern is a really good team guard wise, but if you attack the paint, you can get to them. Okay, I like that. Um, let's see. Moni Williams. This is a question from my dad. He got me on. He has no social media. He says, "Did Io do enough to have his jersey hung up?" And he says, "Why isn't D Brown or Darren Williams up in the rafters?" I think they are. Tell your dad to check. I think D and Darren are in the rafters. D, Darren, and Luther, I believe, are in the rafters, if I'm not mistaken. I think all three of those guys are in the rafters. And yes, Io did enough to get in the rafters. But here's the thing. I think people were surprised at how early he was in the rafters. But Io put the program back on the map. When Io came in, the Illini were still struggling. They were starting to turn around, but they weren't upper echelon. And Io got them. He was the start of where the Illini find themselves now. So yes, he definitely deserves to have his jersey up there. All right. Okay, I think yes, all three of those guys are in the raft. That's what I thought. Thank you, Elizabeth Shaw, for that. Um, oh man, DBO Mays, thank you for this. I appreciate you saying that. It doesn't go unappreciated, people. Did I lose him? Sorry about that. I had a call. It doesn't go unappreciated. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. Guys, I have got to go because I actually have to call a game tonight. So I have to save my voice. We've been on 52 minutes. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I just want to jump on and give Illini Northwestern Scouting Report to give you guys something to think about in tonight's game. Enjoy the ball game. Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Love you all. Holla.